Feel tired. Feel tired.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell, episode number 77. Live on 1152A Sports and Lifestyles. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Let's get into it, man. What's going on in the world of sports? Let's get into it. Let's get into what took place last week in college football. Season's winding down. We got only 3 more weeks left for most teams in the college football landscape of things as teams trying to get into that, cycle of being in that playoff race. So a lot of teams can't be losing. So it's all about finishing strong and winning at the end. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into college football from last week. Had a couple of upsets. I'm going to start with the ACC because the ACC is wide open, man. Look at Virginia, for example. Virginia ranked number 14 in the country. Won 7 straight. Their best start since 1990. But it's all for naught. They lost last week 16-9 at home to Wake Forest. So that hurts their chances of possibly getting to the playoff, let alone getting to the ACC championship game. So that was a tough loss, a bad loss for them, unfortunately. So had to start off with that as far as that's concerned. So let's get into it, man. When you talk about that, that was a major upset as far as college football is concerned. That was a major upset. Also, number 15, at Louisville lost at home to unranked California in the ACC. Lost in overtime, 29-26. I think it was 1 overtime, 2 overtime. It might have been just 1 overtime. But either way, Louisville looked on the surface as a clear-cut favorite to possibly represent the ACC. But it's wide open, this ACC, man. Wide open. So this helps Miami. Kind of helps Georgia Tech as well. But anybody can win this conference. The talent is so spread out. And that's the thing about the ACC, is so spread out in college football in the ACC because there's no dominant team. The talent is spread out. Also, the NIL, the transfer portal. You get anybody you want. And that makes the conference so competitive and so spread out because you don't know who's going to be the standout team. You don't know who's going to be that team is going to get it done. So the ACC is very wide open. So see what happens in the next 3 weeks. Also, shout out to Fernando Mendoza, man, the quarterback of Indiana. As usual, pulled out a big victory on the road, 27-24. Fernando Mendoza had a Heisman moment, man. That drive that he led down the field led to a great throw to Omar Cooper Jr., very exquisite with his footwork, kept his feet in bounds, and he was able to win 27-24, the number 2 Indiana. So moving forward, when you look at the games this week, you got to look at tomorrow's game, Clemson versus Louisville. That's a big game because Louisville is trying to stay afloat in the ACC, try to stay in that slim playoff hopes department and see if they can stay in there. They play Clemson tomorrow night. And then you got on Saturday, you got some great games. Notre Dame versus Pittsburgh. That's a top 25 matchup. Number 9 Notre Dame, as far as the playoffs concerned. And Pittsburgh is ranked number 4, 24 in the playoffs. So you got that going on. So keep your eyes on that. That's a good game. That game's going to be at Pittsburgh. That could be a possible upset alert for Notre Dame. They're looking good. Notre Dame, after the first 2 losses of the season, they was able to still hold it down, and they're looking good right now. Breaking news in baseball, I see that Shohei Ohtani, unanimous National League MVP for the 4th time in 5 seasons, man. This guy's a great player, man. He got 31st place votes to win the 2025 National League Award. So that's breaking news. So looking at the research of what happened last week, but that's what's going on right now for his baseball. So Shohei Ohtani is unanimous MVP of the National League, 4th in 5 seasons. All right, so let's get into it, man. Get into the college football. Back to that. Look at the games this week. A lot of interesting games on Saturday. Like I said, Pittsburgh versus Notre Dame. Number 9 Notre Dame against number 22 Pittsburgh. I think these are like the playoff rankings, not necessarily like the top 25 rankings, but more likely like the playoff rankings. Notre Dame is number 9 in the playoff rankings, and number 22 is Pittsburgh in playoff rankings. The top 25 AP poll, Notre Dame's number 9, and Pittsburgh is number 23. So that's a big time matchup. Possible upset against Notre Dame, so Notre Dame got to be focused and not let down in that matchup. Pittsburgh, they got a chance to win the ACC. They looking very good. They playing very well this year. Their record is, let me see, 7-2 right now, looking good right now. They are right now 5-1 in the conference, like 5-1. Seven and two. This is a great battle because both teams are 7-2, playing very well. Right now, Pittsburgh is 5-1 in the conference. Georgia Tech is 5-1. Virginia is 5-1 in the conference. SMU is 5-1 in the conference. Duke is 4-1 in the conference. Louisville is 4-2. Miami's 3-2. Big game for them. They got to play against NC State. So it's wide open in this ACC. But that's going to be a great matchup to keep your eyes on. That we got 12 noon on ABC. That should be a great matchup. Next, we have on the docket for the schedule is concerned. That's going to be interesting. Keep your eyes on Oklahoma and Alabama. Number 11, Oklahoma. Number 4, Alabama. That's a big time matchup. Playoff implications on the line. USC, number 17 team in the country, plays Iowa, number 21 team in the country. Keep your eyes on that matchup. And then you got a top 10 matchup, number 10 Texas. Texas come a long way. This is a team that was preseason number 1 with the hype over Arch Manning, rightfully so, but they have not lived up to the hype. But now they're starting to live up to the hype in a sense. They're back in the playoff conversation. They number 10 in the playoffs. So the playoffs start today. Texas, believe it or not, despite the struggles that they had during the season, will be in the postseason. They play at Georgia, number 5. So that's gonna be a fantastic matchup. And then you have keep your eyes on BYU TCU. That's an interesting game, especially with BYU because they're number 12 in the country. So they got to avoid an upset. So those are the matchups to keep your eyes on in college football this weekend as the season winds down. Now I think Pittsburgh's going to upset Notre Dame. I think Alabama will beat Oklahoma. I got USC over Iowa, Baylor over Utah, and Georgia over Texas. I got TCU over BYU. Those are my matchups that I have far as who I think is going to win that game. So let's move on to the NFL. What stands out to me last week in the National Football League is the New England Patriots, man. They're 8-2 right now. They're top of the division in the AFC, a division that's been dominated by Buffalo. Buffalo's fallen off the face of the earth. They lost last week 30-13. But this New England Patriots team is doing their thing. I felt that Gerard Mayo shouldn't have been fired like that only after 1 year, but obviously they did the right thing because look at what Mike Vrabel was doing. They definitely overachieved. They're definitely playing great football, and they're 8-2 with a chance to win this division. So give credit where it's due to the Patriots, man. They got a long way to go. Drake May's playing well. Travion Henderson had a 69-yard touchdown run. Defense is solid, and they could possibly win this division. They're 8-2 right now, and Buffalo is 6-3. And the Patriots play tonight against the Jets. So the thing about the Patriots got to be careful about is not take the Jets lightly. Jets won the last 2 games in a row. They won 2 games in a row themselves. So they guys come in focused and locked in and not lose focus. So the Patriots are 8-2 right now. Buffalo plays Buccaneers against the games this week. But that's the thing that stood out to me last week is the Patriots won a big game at Tampa Bay on the road, and keep your eyes on this division in the AFC East, as far as that's concerned. So look at the matchups of this week. A lot of good matchups this week in the NFL. Lions and the Eagles. Eagles won this past week against the Packers. That's what they do. They know how to win. That's why they the champions. But right now, everything goes to Philadelphia. They've shown that they're the best team. But as you look into this weekend's matchup is going to be very good. As far as that's concerned, let's look into that. And this season's gone by pretty fast, man. We in the second half of the season. We're in week 11, so everything's going by so quick. The season, so it's a marathon, but it goes by fast. Definitely. Just looking up that touchdown. Yes, Trevion Henderson had a 69-yard touchdown run. He ran for 147 yards. Right, so let's move on. Week 11. All right. Buccaneers and the Bills. That's a big time matchup. Must win for both teams. Definitely for Buffalo. They're at home. I think Buffalo's going to win that game. Next game that's going to be interesting. I got the Chargers over the Jaguars. That's a good game. I got the Chargers win that game. They're 7-3. I think they go 8-3. This is a great game right here. Battle of the NFC West. Best of the best right here. Seattle Seahawks at the LA Rams. Both teams are 7-2. And the thing about this, the Seahawks are 4-0, undefeated. They never haven't lost a game on the road. But this may be their toughest game as of right now. So that's going to be a big time game. But I got the Rams win that game. I like the Rams. And I got the Chiefs over the Broncos. I know the Broncos are looking good right now. They're 8-2, but their offense is not that great. Defense is strong, but that Orange Crush defense is looking good. But I don't like their offense. Bo Nix doesn't have it. For me to think that they're gonna do some big things in the postseason, but this could be a major step for them to win this division because right now they're 8-2, they're 5-0 at home. They play the Chiefs. They're 5-4. These are the defending champions coming out of the AFC. They've been dominating the AFC the last 3 years. They won 2 in a row. Could have won 3 in a row. For Super Bowl is concerned, they lost to the Eagles, but this is a Chiefs team that knows how to get it done. But the thing about the Chiefs, they have not been playing well away from home. They're 1-3 right now. So we're interested to see how they respond on the road in Denver. But I got the Chiefs win that game. It's a must win for the Chiefs. Strange to see much more than it is for the Broncos. The Broncos looking good right now. They want to stay at top of the float, stay afloat in that division, but I think the Chiefs gonna get it done. And I think the Lions, they gotta win this game. 6-3 at Philadelphia. I won't be surprised if Philadelphia wins, but I like the Lions to win this game. I just think that they gotta make a statement. This is their statement time to make a statement. So I like the Chiefs over the Broncos, Rams over Seahawks, Chargers over Jaguars, Bills over Buccaneers, and I got the Lions over the Eagles. Yes, since the NBA, what stands out to me in the NBA so far as it's in full swing in November, the Thunder man are ready to win a championship again. They're not resting on their laurels. They're 12-1. They beat the red hot Los Angeles Lakers 121-92. Um, Shea Alexander had 30 points and 9 assists. And then the Eastern Conference, man, Detroit Pistons are looking good atop the Eastern Conference. They're 10-2. Got an 8-game winning streak. They beat the Bulls, Chicago 124-113. Paul Reed had 28 points and about 13 rebounds. So they look really good right now. Looking really good. Detroit Pistons. They're trying to bid off, what they are. They have no great, young roster. Some veterans, but Kay Cunningham is the guy. He's the future of that team, that league, in this league. So that was a major statement win from the Thunder, man. 12-1 right now. So far. 12-1, that's the league best for the Thunder. The Lakers have been playing well. Like before they lost this game, they did lose to Atlanta, beat Charlotte, but before they lost to OKC, have been playing well. They had won like 5 in a row. They had a 5-game win streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They won like 7 out of their last 8 games in since. So they've been playing good basketball. So like I said, that's why they're red hot for a reason coming to this matchup against OKC Thunder. They've been playing very well before they lost last night. They're 8-4 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like 8 of the last 9. They only had 3 losses coming to this game. That game against OKC last night on the 12th of November. So this team was red hot. Play like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. They won like 8 of the last 9 matchups. So it was rare that they lose. Outside of the home loss. I mean, they lost that to Golden State opening on the season opener. But after that, they've been on a great run since then. 7 out of the last 8. 8 out of the last 9. They're like 8-1 in since. Yeah, our last 10, it seems like. Either way, man, they've been hot. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about the Lakers. They have been playing well. And Paul Reed had 28 points, 13 rebounds. So, as I conclude this show, man, for against my honest days in sports history, there was a lot of passings this week, man. Paul Tagliabue passed away. He passed away on Sunday. He was a former commissioner of the NFL. Had a lot of labor peace. Not that much, nonsense going on since. He replaced a great legend, a giant in the NFL, and Pete Rozelle, who definitely was a game changer in what he did for the National Football League. He passed away on November 9th, so that was on Sunday. November 9th, that was on Sunday. So, long story short, his years with the NFL was very prosperous, man. He was a guy that from Jersey City, New Jersey. This guy was a local product coming from Jersey City. He added four new franchises. He kept the Saints in New Orleans following Hurricane Katrina. Four franchises moved cities, postponed games, obviously, rightly so. When the 9/11 attacks happened in 2001, September 11th. Also, he took a hard stance against the state of Arizona for failing to recognize a state holiday for Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, recognizing it as a holiday, and actually moved Super Bowl 27 to California. That was Super Bowl 27. That's the year Cowboys played the Bills for the first time during the 92 season. He moved to California because that Super Bowl was originally supposed to have been in Arizona. That's why he moved it. And then he established the um, World League of American Football in 1989. Also, he was in Pro Football Hall of Fame. Also, he was a lawyer for the NFL. So this guy had a lot of great success. Being born from Jersey City, the local product in Jersey. That's a very great accomplishment to do something like that. Have that kind of success coming from Jersey. From the East Coast. In a sense, so I think that was a good look. Born in 1940. So rest in peace to Paul Tagliabue. Okay, in the NBA world, man, a couple of guys passed away, fortunately, and it was I'm gonna start with Michael Ray Richardson. Those not familiar with him, Michael Ray Richardson was a great talent coming out of the University of Montana. He was drafted in 1978, fourth overall pick, rightfully so. He was heralded as the next Walt Frazier. Those who don't know who Walt Frazier is, he's the point guard for the New York Knicks. Won a couple championships with great players like Willis Reed, Bill Bradley, Earl DePro Monroe, David Busher, guys like that. He was, Clyde Frazier, man. He could play the game at the highest level, a great point guard. So he was heralded as him, Michael Ray Richardson, back to him. He passed away this week at age 70. And despite his flashes of brilliance in the NBA, which he had a lot, great success, he couldn't get away from the substance abuse, man, the drugs. He was banned from the NBA by David Stern, the commissioner of the NBA at the time, on February 25th, 1986, because he tested positive for cocaine for the third time, leaving behind what could have been, because he could have been one of all-time greats. He also shared in his memoir that he wrote the year before he passed. It came out called Banned. How was banned from the NBA and found redemption and stuff like that. So the good thing about Michael Ray Richardson is that at least he was able to put together, a book so people can learn about what he did, what he had to go through, his tough times, and how he overcame that through redemption. He came up with a memoir, a personal memoir about what he did in his career and how he overcame what he overcame. The addiction to the drugs and stuff like that. So it's at least he able to leave that behind. His story, his message in that memoir. You want to check it out, you go to Amazon Kindle, go to Amazon, you want to buy the book, you want to learn more about Michael Ray Richardson, go to the Amazon.com, Amazon Kindle, it's there. It's a great book about addiction, fighting addiction, overcoming addiction, and being redeemed. That's what he wrote in his book. So at least he left that behind to let people that wasn't familiar with his play, wasn't familiar with what he did in the game of basketball, what he was about, what he stood for, how he played the game, his tough times off the court, and how he found redemption a certain way. So that's all that needs to be said about that. So I needed to talk about that because that was very important to discuss that, to address that. Michael Ray Richardson passing away. He played with the Knicks. He played with New Jersey Nets. I think he played overseas. So he was a guy that could have been one of the all-time greats. Could have been just as good as Magic Johnson, as far as his career, because he was drafted before him. Magic Johnson was drafted in 79, 79. He came in 78. So that's what it's all about, man. Had to talk about that. As far far as that's concerned. Yeah, the name of the book is Banned: How I Squandered an All-Star NBA Career Before Finding My Redemption. That's the name of the book that Michael Ray Richardson wrote. How I squandered an all NBA, excuse me, how I squandered an all-star NBA career before finding my redemption. That's the name of it. Michael Sugar Ray Richardson. George Iceman Gervin wrote the foreword on Nancy Leaving. Yeah, this came out last year, so at least before he passed, tragically, unfortunately, he was able to do what he had to do to share his story. Rest in peace to Michael Ray Richardson and Paul Tagliabue. And last but not least, before I close out, before I get to On This Day in Sports History, November 13th, Lenny Wlkens passed away this week. Lenny Wilkens is very underrated, unheralded, great player in the coaching profession as well as the player. Um, he played like in the shadows of Oscar Robertson and Jerry West. Played during that era. He played from 1960 to 1968. So he played during that era of Russell, West, Cousy, Robertson, Wilt Chamberlain. Matter of fact, he finished runner up in the MVP race behind Wilt Chamberlain in 1968. So that showed this guy was a big time player. He was one of 5 people to be inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame as a player and a head coach alongside Bill Russell, alongside John Wooden, Bill Sharman, and Tommy Heinsohn. So this guy definitely accomplished a lot as a player and as a head coach. So that's the thing that stands out about that gentleman. And also, he played with the Hawks. That's his longest tenure with a team. No, this was his longest tenure of his playing career, playing with the Hawks from 1960 He played with other teams, but his longest tenure of his playing career was with the St. Louis Hawks. His coaching aspect, he definitely turned around the Seattle Supersonics, made them an NBA championship team in 1979, won a championship. Then he turned around the Cleveland Cavaliers to a perennial NBA title contender during the late 80s and early 90s, but couldn't get past Michael Jordan and the Bulls dynasty of the 90s, which they would win 6 titles in an 8-year span, excuse me. Also in the coach profession, Wlkens won 1,322 games as an NBA head coach, also during the 1994-95 season in the NBA when he was a coach at Atlanta Hawks. He set a record for the most wins by an NBA head coach in the regular season on January 6, 1995, surpassing Brett Auerbach for the 939th win as a head coach. 939 wins. That's the thing about Wlkens, man. Wlkens is one of the all-time greats. One of the all-time greats. And that's what you look at this guy. Also, he coached the Dream Team. 96 Dream Team. He's very underrated, overshadowed. One of the all-time greats. So he's the most prolific head coach in NBA history. 2,487 regular season games, 89 more games than Nelson, over 400 more than any other coach. Has more losses than any other coach in NBA history at 1,155. I mean, this guy definitely was a great coach. Again, he played with the Supersonics, 1968, 1972. Did his thing. I mean, he averaged 22.4 points a game, 6.2 rebounds, 8.2 assists. They were Cleveland for 2 seasons. Portland Trail Blazers. He was a 9-time All-Star. Lenny Wlkens. He was named the MVP of the All-Star game in 1971. He led the league in assists. And at the time that he retired, he was the NBA's second all-time leader in that category of assists, behind Oscar Robertson. Again, he's a contemporary with Oscar Robertson because Oscar Robertson was born in 1938. He was born in 1937. He was on the NBA's all-time 50th anniversary team. So this guy did his thing. 75 Yeah, he's the only person beyond both the 75th season as a player and coach, as well as the 50th anniversary team. And he coached, the Dream Team in 1996. I think he coached the Dream Team in 1996. And he was assistant coach, must be accurate. Close out. 1996 Dream Team. See if he coached that team. Was the assistant? Was he head coach? Yeah, Lenny Wlkens coached the team. He's the head coach. So Lenny Wlkens, man, did a lot of great stuff, but underrated, unheralded, great player, great coach. Rest in peace. Right, so now it's time for me to get into the honest day in sports history for November the 13th. I'll go over everything that took place, some of the things. All right, we're going to start with in 1900 on November 13th, Baltimore Orioles, now New York Yankees, entered the baseball's American League. In 1875, on October 13th, Harvard-Yale game was the first college football contest that had uniforms. They played with uniforms. 1958, in New York City, Mayor Robert Wagner at the time announced plans to begin a new baseball league called the Continental League to fill the void created by the city's Giants and Dodgers moving to the West Coast. Bob Pettit, in 1964, became the first NBA player to score 20,000 points. Elvin Hayes, as a rookie, scored 54 points in San Diego Rockets 122-120 win over Detroit Pistons, which is career high. Bob Gibson edged out Pete Rose to win the National League MVP in 1968. Reggie Jackson won the MVP on his day in 1973. Steve Garvey, 74, won the MVP. Willie Stargell and Keith Hernandez won the MVP. They shared it in 1979. Ryan Sandberg won the MVP in 1984. Cy Young Award winner went to Dwight Gooden. Cy Young Award winner went to Roger Clemens when he was with the Red Sox. Riddick Bowe won the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship in 1992, November 13th, unanimous points decision over Evander Holyfield. First day of 3 million meetings trilogy. 1997, Ken Griffey won an MVP, American League. Ken Caminiti won it in 1996. Lennox Lewis beat Evander Holyfield in 1999, November 13th, and 12 rounds by unanimous decision, become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. So on November 13th, 1999. I think that's basically it. Right, so that's it, man, for on this day in sports history for November 13th. That's it for the day. So that concludes this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Check out my recent articles on e5280sports.com. Got articles written on there. Check those things out. Be on the lookout for the next article that's going to come out soon next week. Tune in every single Thursday night around this time, whatever time it is, going to be in the evening times. And check out this Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell. This episode number 77 as the episodes continue to pile up. Thanks for tuning in. I thank those who tuned in. Appreciate it. Elevation 52A Sports and Lifestyles. Rashad Mitchell, Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell, episode number 77. Be back next Thursday for episode number 78 of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell. And this show is streaming live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. That's right now. So check it out. If you want to check this show out, it's on you. I appreciate the time. Appreciate the platform this show has on this platform. And thanks for tuning in. So that's it for the night. Until then, talk to you next Thursday night.